everyone, and welcome back for episode 23 of the Simply One podcast. I'm your host, Colin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
How we doing, everybody?
We're just a couple of best friends who are passionate about all things pop culture. If you're looking for lukewarm takes on movies, video games, TV shows, or even the occasional comic, then we have got the show for you.
Yeah.
And this week, just start getting dumb.
Wild.
Did you say wild?
Wild, and then you start making seal noises. Get your bucket, Gerald.
Fire. No, this week we're going to be looking at the Hulu exclusive Predator prequel, Prey. We've been looking forward to this one for as long as we've been doing this show, actually. This was news pretty early on in the show that this was in production. And I'm very excited to talk about it. I think you're pretty excited to talk about it.
Well, we'll find out. I like to keep them on the page.
Yeah, I know. But we do have to talk about our unintentionally DC-focused news for the week. What was that? What was that? You went,
DC's
Why
been
use
blown.
many words when few words do better?
That's correct. Like Harvard?
Straight up, we got the first teaser for Joker Folie à Deux. Yeah, what were you saying about DC over there? I know how you feel about Joker.
You said Joker too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, for you said a teaser?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Oh, should I watch it and we'll clip it and then...
Clip it!
Well, no, okay. I'll give my opinion before, and then I'll watch the trailer, and then I'll give my opinion.
I'm going to tell you, it's not... There's no footage or anything. It's literally just a little animated thing.
Oh. Little animated thing.
Yeah. Look it up real quick. It's like 20 seconds.
Yeah. Joker 2.
I forget I have to assign homework to if I want us to be all up to date and on the same page.
Why is it all French?
The title of the movie is Folie à Deux.
It's not what...
Do you need me to find it and send it to you?
I got it. All right.
Did you find it?
Give me a second. No, it keeps giving me just articles.
Jeez. Watch that fucking video.
Whoa.
I literally looked up Joker 2 teaser. And it was
contains content from UMG who has blocked it on display. All right,
So
I got
click
it.
the link.
I got it.
Guy. Didn't realize I was going to have to hold your hand here.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a short little animated thing.
Yeah, so, we got that. We got the cancellation of HBO Max's Batgirl film.
Oh, yeah.
And then Warner Brothers Discovery's 10-year plan for DC. All right.
Let's dive in.
Here. Let's dive. What do you say?
Yeah. Oh, I'm diving.
Yes. I got my cap on, baby. Let's get in for a dip. Lady Gaga confirmed the news. Previously reported that she would be starring opposite Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker sequel, Joker Folie à Deux. So she posted a brief animated teaser on her Twitter that seems to have like a vaudevillian tone almost. Which I think might be an interesting direction to take it since it's supposedly a musical. And I think vaudeville would kind of fit in with the, the painted face clown kind of motif thing.
Right.
We got a release date of October 4th of 2024, which is over 2 years away. And we still don't know if the role is indeed Harley Quinn or not, but it seems likely.
Yeah, as just from the teaser that we just watched, it seems like a love interest. I got the heart on the face like Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and I could see Gaga being a Harley Quinn. I mean, that would make sense. But yeah, so it was really just a confirmation that she's going to be in it. We got a release date, and it's like, okay, things are moving, right?
Right. I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't mean to sound like a broken record. I'm okay with things being pushed off a little longer as long as they're good.
Yeah. Good things come to those that wait.
Right.
And sometimes you get fucked over in the end, but you know.
And then we riot.
You figure Morbius got delayed.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Are you talking Morbius? What's that? Yeah.
Morbius was gas.
Dude, I really wish that we'd somehow tricked him into releasing it a third time. I love that petition that was something to the effect of Sony released Morbius again. We were all busy that weekend.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that'd be classic.
And you know they would too.
Yeah, and then just not show up again. How many times can we release it, get them to release it, and then just not show up?
Just milk it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that's really all I had about the Joker sequel. I threw that in more for you, and as a follow up on some of our news that we talked about earlier in the year.
Well, I was gonna say I'm indifferent because I really don't see how they're gonna fit a musical in there. But I'm not opposed of it per se, because I feel, especially with this little trailer and like the style that it seems, if it is a continuing that, I could definitely see something happen and out of it, making it a musical or anything like that. And
I could see them playing with the idea of like, because if it is Harley Quinn and she is in fact like his psychiatrist in Arkham, considering at the end of Joker he is in
Arkham,
basically a white cell,
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, it's not confirmed Arkham, but an asylum.
Yeah, it's basically. But I could see maybe the idea being like, his world sucks and it's bland and all that, and then he meets her, and now it's like, then it becomes a musical where it's that idea of like he's unhinged and she's kind of brought this beauty and this music into his life, Well,
also,
everything becomes more fantastical now that he has her.
I was also going to say, he says, and this could be way off, I'm just speaking out of my ass, but that's all I do. Right. The first one he says a couple different times, I believe, just the once, I guess, when he kills his mother, spoiler alert, that, he thinks his life's been a drama, but it turns out it's been a comedy.
It's a comedy.
And I could see maybe them playing in there somehow, like, a music. I don't know, it's creative and it's different, so I'm sure. No. Why not? Yes. I'm not upset about it yet.
And then you get some cringy incels going, oh man, now I gotta figure out if I like musicals or not.
I like musicals.
I didn't say you were a cringy incel.
Oh, I was like, I like musicals. What are you talking about?
But I guess if you identify with that statement, more power to you, bub.
I will say I'm not picky, but I like certain musicals.
Yeah.
Hamilton was really
good musicals.
Yeah, Hamilton was really, really good. Guns and Chips is my favorite song by them. That's a really good one. I was in a musical in high school.
Yeah.
Granted, I worked backstage, but anything goes.
Anything goes.
Yeah, I just wasn't gonna. I ain't got pipes on me. I can't sing like that. Literally without doing like the 50s, the anything go.
Yeah, putting the transatlantic on there.
yeah. But that's I think musical's cool, and I feel like
the Radio tin on it, Well, what do you say now? Yeah.
But so yeah, no, I'm open to the musical idea. I'm not against it or anything yet.
Yeah.
Now if they drop this first trailer and it looks ass, then
it looks like absolute dookie. Dukeville.
Might be, yeah. Duke Nation.
USA. Duke Nation. Yeah, so Dick Kickham. While in the final stages of post-production, Warner Brothers Discovery has decided not to release Batgirl on any platform or even in theaters. So this seems to be a part of the company's cost-cutting mandate, where they want a heavy focus on theatrical releases of tentpole films with budgets of $90 million or more. The Batgirl was greenlit at $70 million and was starring Leslie Grace, Brendan Fraser, and Michael Keaton reprising his role as Batman. So that sounds like a pretty banger to me. I'd peep that. But the cancellation did come as a shock to all involved, and it even resulted in Kevin Feige reaching out via email to the filmmakers who directed 2 of the episodes of the recent Ms. Marvel series.
Mm-hmm.
And he just emailed him and he said, "My friends, I had to reach out and let you know. We're all thinking about you both. because of the wonderful news about the wedding. Congrats. I think one of them got married, one of the two directors. And the disappointing news about Batgirl. Very proud of you guys and all the amazing work you do, and particularly Ms. Marvel, of course. Can't wait to see what is next for you. Hope to see you soon. And, yeah. So everybody was kind of bummed. I do like the interpersonal skills of Kevin Feige there to be like, this is a networking opportunity to reach out and remind them they always have a home here, you know?
Right, yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, that's kind of fucked up. The movie was finished. It was done. Everything. Yeah, and there's like, nah. It's like, dude, all that hard work that was put into, you know, because like
by everybody, yeah,
right, you know, and that's what I was about to get into. Is like, yeah, I mean, it's acting, and a lot of people don't look at acting as a job, but I mean, it is. It can be, you know, if you have a passion for it and you love to do it, sure, it doesn't feel like work, but I mean, you know, at the end of the day, work is work,
right?
And so, you know, all these people, you know, on camera, behind camera, you know,
right. I mean, people had to write it, light it, you know,
right?
Feed the staff and crew. I mean, everybody worked on that job.
People's time was put into it. Yeah. And they just said, fuck it. Nah.
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah. Pass. And it is like an odd, weird move. Like you said, I mean, first of all, like I said, $70 million. Like, but apparently there's some sort of, with it being a movie that was already in production when the merger took place, there's some sort of write-up, or sorry, I forget how they phrase it, but basically, it sounds like they can potentially write off the cost as part of the merger, and basically just not take a monetary hit on just throwing away a $70 million movie.
I mean, I guess.
So that's, from a money standpoint, they must have just been like, and I've heard conflicting reports of like, on the one hand, people were talking about it sounding like a really good movie, but then on the other hand, people that saw early screenings and stuff talking about it being dog ass. So I don't know if it was a combo of all three things, you know, saving money. And then apparently one of the other things was that it might impact the path of like the multiversal stories they're going to start telling following the Flash. So I don't know, maybe it just didn't fit in for them, and they're trying to trim the branches off this thing and get back to what the core is going to be for the future of DC.
I guess. Yeah,
but it just sucks that an entirely finished movie. I mean, it was in post. It was almost done with post. All they had to do was release the thing.
Right, and that's my thing. Is like, I don't see the harm in just throwing it out there, at least on something, you know?
Right. So, I mean, that does kind of lead in to that last bit of news I had about the 10-year plan that was mentioned. So, during an investor call for Q2, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav held a Q&A session in there, where the investors got to ask questions and, you know, try and get a little bit of insight into the future of the company and some of the moves, right, that's going to affect their stock. And when he was asked about the Batgirl cancellation, he responded basically with, we're not going to launch a movie until it's ready. And, which is like a hardcore, basically, like, that movie wasn't going to be a finished product ever.
Right.
So apparently, he didn't like what he saw, right? And he went on to express his desire and commitment to a 10-year plan for DC, not dissimilar from what Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios have in place, of knowing where we're headed over the next 10 years, right? Which, you know, not a bad idea, right?
Right, it's always good to plan. It's always good.
Yeah, it's nice to not just spit in the wind and see what sticks, right?
Right.
And it is a double-edged thing of, okay, yeah, but what if you stick to it? You know, you set out a 10-year plan, and then as you start having bad movies. You know what I mean? Are you stuck in a 10-year commitment to this shitty path, or you know what I mean? So that's where the quality thing has to come in as well. So yeah, the quote that he has is, "Our ambition is to bring Warner's back and produce great, high-quality films. We can build a long-term, sustainable growth business out of DC. We're not releasing a film before it's ready." And he added that the focus is to make the films as good as possible. So it sounds like when he was talking further, apparently his main concern, one of his main concerns with Batgirl, was making a movie that was too expensive to release on streaming, but not expensive enough to turn a profit on a theatrical run, basically. Where, you know, there's this idea that like the mid-budget movie is kind of gone. Because if you spend $50 million on a movie, there's not going to be enough there to make money back on it. Which is why you see either like a $200 million movie where it's like, okay, yeah, we put so much money into this thing that it's gonna make money. Or
Right.
you see like a $5 million movie where even if it only makes $20 million, you get a pretty intense return on investment. And then you run the risk of getting a Paranormal Activity, which was one of the like highest grossing, like percentage-wise films of all time, where the budget on that was like $80,000 and it made over like $100 million.
Yeah.
Or even a good example from this year is Everything Everywhere All at Once just crossed $100 million on like a $15 million budget.
You know, I was just talking about
What's that?
The other, I think it might have been yesterday or the day prior. It was. Here, let me pull it up. I'm just pulling it up. So, Shrek, like, you know, over the weekend I went to a little water, like an indoor water park, just a little fun little getaway, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Shrek, you know, in the hotel, Shrek was just playing, so we're all like, you know, watching Shrek, and I was like, you know, unironically, I think Shrek's really good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think Shrek is a good movie, it has an okay plot and everything like that. And I got to thinking, I was like, you know, Shrek was everywhere at once.
Oh yeah, it was the thing.
Right, and so I looked up, you know, and I just pulled it up here. Shrek's budget was $60 million, right?
Yeah.
And they made $487.9 million.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, right? So it's like...
Now look up Shrek 2.
Oh, Shrek 2's even more. Shrek 2 is their best one. Let's see here. Yeah, they made $928.7 million.
So they almost made $1 billion in what, 2002?
Yeah. Dude, yeah. Like, they made so much money. And Shrek
like
2's, again...
That's Spider-Man money. Yeah,
Shrek
I think
2's
Spider-Man
really
made $1 billion.
fucking good.
Yeah, it is. Fuck. Yeah,
I think that's funny that you brought that up. Man, I think it's funny you brought that up because I was just thinking and talking about that.
Yeah. But basically, when he was talking about... sorry, back to DC here.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. On the future of DC, Zaslav said, "We have seen The Flash, Black Adam, and Shazam 2, and we're very excited about them. We've seen them, we think they're terrific, and we think we can make them even better." So he talked about the fact that The Flash is staying on, like, it's going to make its release date. It's on schedule, and it is going to release. Like, he's behind it still.
Oh my god!
Despite the fact that I don't want to get into it too heavily, but literally as I was looking for news to put in the episode this week, there was something about Ezra Miller getting charged with burglary.
No, dude, this guy, they're an animal.
Yeah. Like, dude, how are you gonna keep backing Ezra and the Flash when it's not good? Like, they can't keep getting away with it.
They're committing heinous crimes.
Yeah, like
bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. So in the article that I read from Deadline, they mentioned that people this is the thing, like, I think this is why they're just sticking behind them, is that the Deadline article, they mentioned that people who've seen screeners of The Flash have all talked about how it is like a banger, like it is fantastic. And like they've been blown away by it, with some even comparing it to like Spider-Man No Way Home and the way that they felt when they saw that. And like, because there's some Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton multiversal stuff apparently. And then just in general, like the hype and the tone, and that they had a really good time with it. Yeah, apparently it's probably, from what I'm gathering, like the best received like pre-screenings that they've gotten out of any of their movies. So they're like, yep, sorry, we're going to have to go with this thing, regardless of how disastrous the lead is right now.
I just imagine Ezra Miller like breaking into somebody's house, and then they call the police.
Apparently they were stealing booze.
And they're like, "Can't catch me, I'm the Flash." And they start running and just get fucking sacked by a cop.
Yeah, so it's just, yeah. It is a weird predicament to find themselves in, where they're like, again, and then it's not a great look to cancel the Batgirl film when you're still back in
right.
But then again, like I said, maybe if it didn't get received well in the pre-screenings, and like I said, it sounds like The Flash is just incredible. From a money standpoint, they're like, you know what, we're going to run with it. Like, people are going to see this movie.
Yeah, I think they're right, because Ezra, hearing everything about Ezra Miller, they're like, oh, we got to go see the movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like
it's if
the meme.
Yeah, if they're doing it, if they're doing all that crazy shit, we got it, and they're still releasing. It's got to be good. Yeah, taken by the Flash.
Oh, but yeah, that's all I got, baby. What are your thoughts on that? I do like the idea of them trying to put some structure in place, and I mean the fact that they're obviously making money moves as far as like being willing to chop a $70 million movie because they don't think it's good and not going to make them money does give me a little bit of hope in the movies that they're keeping. You know what I mean? That like, as disastrous as that sounds, I think, well, if they're willing to chop a $70 million film because they don't think it's going to make them money, then maybe the fact that they're sticking with you gonna make it over there, bud?
I'm just rolling on my chair. Scooting closer. Getting invested.
My God. You roll in that chair like a fucking baby in a blanket. Just tossing around. It's like tummy time. I'm trying to get you to flip onto your back, you know?
I froed up.
I froed up.
I get it. I suppose from like a money standpoint, why they're doing everything, like if it didn't do too well. But I also think, right. But also, it kind of makes me think like, if Hulu thinks they can get, if Hulu gets away with it once, they're gonna question how many times can we get away with it, and then other companies are gonna start thinking the same thing. If Hulu can get away with it, with keeping somebody who's doing awful things like this, then why can't we? And then it's just gonna turn into a big like moral thing.
Why did Hulu get name dropped?
Or not Hulu, DC. Sorry, I got I'm on it, and I got price synopsis pulled up because I know it's coming. So I got that pulled up. But no, DC, if DC keeps thinking that, then everyone else is going to be like, if DC can do it, why can't we? And that's just going to be, we got a lot of people who, sure, they can act, but like they're doing horrendous things.
Right, well, and it's like really? Cancel culture ain't going to come through on this one?
Right, like I thought they would be on it, but I haven't seen nothing about it.
Not really, no, other than, like, people kind of just, it's like a weird, like, this can't be reality.
Oh, but baby, it is.
I've definitely got a tape measure on my desk for actual construction reasons. I'm looking at it. 6 inches is actually a lot. Like
4 inches is pretty big. 4 inches is pretty
like that's pretty sizable. Like
it's about the motion of the ocean.
I've got it set to like 2.5 inches. I'm like, it's not kind of a lot. Like
that's damn near 6 inches.
Like that's a lot of tape. I almost said a lot of dick. It's a lot of tape.
Oh.
No, I don't know why the tape measure's on my desk. I don't remember what I was measuring, but it was not my wiener. I promise you that. What were those blue pills called? Blue Chew?
Yeah, Blue Chew. You got Blue Chew on the mind from last episode.
All I've got are Blue Chew ads now. All right, you want to talk about Prey, baby?
Yeah, so the synopsis
of it. Oh, I didn't ask you for that synopsis, did I?
No, I guess not.
You gotta chill out over there.
Well, my fault.
You're on edge. What's the synopsis, Prey?
So, a skilled Comanche warrior protects her tribe from a highly evolved alien predator that hunts humans for sport, fighting against wilderness, dangerous colonizers, and this mysterious creature to keep her people safe.
Word, there you go. I like that. All right, let's see here. Reception. It's got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, and an 81% from the audience. IMDb's got it at a 7.3 out of 10, which, keep in mind, is an audience score. And then Metacritic had it at a 71 out of 100. So, yeah, it was pretty... It sounds like the audience scores were a little bit mid, but I do know that there was also a little bit of a campaign, if you know what I'm saying.
No.
Because of who the lead is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We're still on that?
Oh, yeah.
We're still struggling with that?
Yeah. Yeah, a woman, and she's not white. Ah!
Blasphemy!
I can't identify with that.
How do you expect me to relate to that?
I'm not an indigenous woman. I can't even imagine what that would be like. How unrealistic to have this alien fighting a native woman.
A woman.
Yeah, but
get over yourself.
That's our impression of simps. All right, let's see here.
Simps like women.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah, incels. That's
incels.
Yeah, involuntarily celibate, which I think says everything you need to know. You know, they're not having sex until marriage, but not by their choice. You know. So the cast here: Amber Midthunder, which I will point out here if we're gonna attack the people who are like it's woke. The cast is almost entirely, indigenous people or of First Nations origins. So Amber Midthunder plays Naru. Yeah, and I kind of bring that up that I think it adds to the authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dakota Beavers plays Tabe, her brother. And then I'm trying to think that's really like the main cast, other than to say that Dane Diliegro, I think is the last name, was played the Predator. But beyond that, like, it's a pretty slim cast.
Yeah, there's not
in a good way. I mean, it's super simple and uncrowded.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like. If we want to go ahead and get into it, let's talk about our spoiler-free plot thoughts. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll let you kick it off there, girl.
Yeah. So, learning, going into oh, excuse me, I stuttered so much.
Oh my!
When the movie first opens,
check your blood pressure, dude. Are you having a stroke?
When the movie first When the movie first starts, we see Naru and her and her dog, and meeting. I believe was the mom or motherly figure, Aryuka by Michelle Thrush.
Could be.
I'm assuming here. And they talk about
ever
like
come from assuming.
Right. And they kind of touch base on it very briefly. Aruka.
Okay.
I want to say
just
mom and Naru, and they're having this conversation about hunting. It's like your skills could be somewhere else. Like there's maybe a little bit of improvement that you need. Hunting, gathering, stuff like that. You can tell mom's not really for it, but not against it either.
And then you can track.
Yeah, which I feel like
a good tracker.
Which is what Tabe said.
Yeah, her brother is like, you're a good tracker, and she's a gifted medicine woman. Like, she's good with the medic stuff.
Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. The dog. Dude, her dog's badass. Just the coolest.
What's your fucking dog's name?
I don't think the dog... Oh, it starts with an S. Sarly? Saley?
Maybe. Let's find it here. Hold, please.
Jimmy, pull that up.
Why am I scrolling on IMDb like the fucking dog's gonna be in? I mean, the dog was an actor.
Yeah. Someone had to.
Prey dog name. Let's see. The actor's name was Coco. Sari was the dog.
Oh, so I got it right.
Double I. Sari, yep.
So good. Dude.
It's like a steel trap, baby. Nothing getting in, nothing getting out.
That's right.
I refuse to learn, and I refuse to forget.
I may not be a smart man.
Nope.
I know what love is.
Love is.
What a classic movie. No, but...
Banger.
Yeah, sorry, killer dog. Like...
Yeah. I thought you were apologizing.
No.
Sorry. Yeah, the dog.
Yeah, the dog killed it, and... I don't know, it felt realistic. It felt like, okay, this dog, it's a smart dog, but it wasn't like, okay.
Yeah. The dog isn't wielding a weapon,
It's got 2 katanas on its back. It's just ready.
The dog has his own wrist blades.
The dog's got the predator gear.
Yeah, he's wearing the predator mask.
The dog is predator. That's the whole thing.
The dog just has rabies and is chasing her. It's just the whole movie.
That's the whole movie. Right.
Just her dog turning on her.
Oh.
It's like, what if Cujo, but in 1719? Oh.
Where were we?
I
I got lost. I got sidetracked.
You were talking about the dog and liking the dog.
Oh yeah, spoiler. Yeah, and spoiler freeze. And oh, dude, the fight scenes with all of the characters. I mean, all of the characters that you see fight. Huh?
It was my chair picking up.
Yeah, it is, dude. Like, it's so fucking loud and creaky. Not really. I was just... Oh, now I can hear it. Oh my god.
I know, I gotta hit this bitch with some WD-40. Like, every time I lean back, it's just... Sounds like the door in a horror movie.
But all the fight scenes, all the action scenes were really good. And, like, very well choreographed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thinking about authenticity of the film, I thought it was pretty neat that it has a Comanche version of the movie, which is what we watched.
Yeah, we watched it in the Comanche version.
With the
which I'm not gonna lie, I think I preferred that. I thought it was better.
Yeah, and I do think, if I read correctly, that all of the lines in the Comanche version were dubbed by the actors, like the original actors, which is pretty dope.
Even the guy who plays Predator?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, the Predator with all his lines in them. Fuck. No, it didn't seem to shy away from some of the cultural aspects, which I think was, again, helped by the cast being almost entirely indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
It had a really simple plot, which I think was a plus, where it just keep it pretty lean, easily relatable.
Yep.
And it's a nice, like, wombo combo of genres, where it's like somewhat of a historical survival film at first, and then it's also obviously an action film, but then there's a little bit of a coming-of-age slant to it, insofar as, like, her trying to prove herself,
Yeah.
Or like a rite of passage more than coming of age, but the main character is named Naru, like we talked about. She's, like I said, she's a gifted tracker and a medic who's been training by herself, and it seems like maybe with the help of her brother sometimes, to be a warrior. And she simply just is trying to pass her trial to become like a warrior within the tribe, which just involves hunting something that is hunting you, is like the little asterisk they put on that. Where like her brother, his trial is killing a panther, or a mountain lion, I mean. And he straight up decapitates that thing, brings its head back and its body back separately.
Yeah.
And it's like, my God,
covered in blood.
Man. Yeah. And then obviously... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, they did a good job, too, because when he came back, he did look a little bit in shock.
Yeah, like, by God.
Like, by God, like, yeah, this wasn't a stroll.
Was a fight.
Yeah, this was a fight, and he's got a little bit of shock. And then everyone starts cheering him on, and then he's like, all right.
Gets jacked up, yeah.
Yeah. All that adrenaline.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the obvious parallel, I think, between the Predator, who's obviously been dropped on the planet to prove himself as a hunter. And so it's that nice, like, they're both there for the same reason,
Right.
Their tribe is looking to them to prove themselves. And so you get a nice natural... It's a good way to make them relatable to each other, Or even though on the surface they're two very different people, right? An alien hunter that's been dropped on this planet from a spacefaring, civilization to a Comanche woman in 1717 or whatever it is,
Bingo.
1719. But yeah, what do you think about the characters and chemistry?
Oh yeah, first off, Naru.
Yeah,
excellent character. Like the story arc of it, I thought like it was simple, but so it was easy to follow along. But it was still, I think, very powerful. Right? Even though it was simple, they put all the attention on it, and it was really good. very moving, and just seeing all the growth with Naru's character, and then seeing how, obviously you're going to have some of the tribe who are hunting not be a fan of Naru because she's a woman, right? It's
Right.
in the 1700s. They're like, yeah, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And just
one
kind
of them even basically makes a like "you belong in the kitchen" comment.
Yeah, and she outproves them in tracking and in medicines by saving one of the tribe members' lives.
Yeah.
And
then at one point she this is kind of a spoiler. She like beats the shit out of one of them.
Yeah.
Like whips his ass.
Showing him she's got the strength. But so I feel like in that part there that like you're saying that rite of passage, it fulfilled right there, and it fulfilled multiple times, which I liked. Just because it's like
she has to prove herself, and that she is able to, but it's not always easy for her either.
Right.
She doesn't just stroll in and just prove him wrong right now. There's a lot of work involved in it. Yeah,
and it's just throughout the entire movie, it all that work is you see and everything like that, and so you're really you're rooting for her even more.
Mm-hmm.
And then her and her relationship with Tabe, is fucking phenomenal. I mean,
it felt like a real sibling relationship.
Yeah, Tabe sticks up for Naru, but also kind of gives her the tough love when it's just them. Like, you gotta, if you're doing this, you gotta fucking do this.
You gotta do it. You gotta be better. Like,
right. But still, showing Naru a bunch of love and
and helping her when he can.
Support. Right. So it felt like a genuine connection. It was really nice.
Yeah. And sometimes he helps her by not helping her, where he's like, sorry, baby, this one's you,
Yeah.
You got to do it. Talking about, I think we kind of covered all of my things, but thinking about her and Tabe's relationship, I think that it was, it's a little thing to note, but I appreciate the fact that there was no love interest in the movie. Because
I don't think there needs to be.
No, I don't either. But I think a lot of movies would go, okay, instead of the Tabe character being her brother, let's make him a love interest, But they don't have to.
Right. No, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, I am too. That's what I was saying.
All right, I'm agreeing with you.
Just fucking relax, guy.
Whoa, hey.
God. My watch is like, guy, are you okay?
Yeah, you're checking your heartbeat.
My fucking watch was like, gave me a recommendation from YouTube, and the video was called something to the effect of Las Vegas smoke shop owner stabs robber 7 times. I'm like, fuck, why do I want to watch that?
No, it was a Blue Chew ad. Don't you lie to me.
So anyway, you want to explain the rating system? I'm ready to rate this thing again, the spoilers.
Yeah, so am I. Go ahead.
No, you're supposed to explain the rating system.
Oh, yeah, I apologize. Forgive me. Getting too comfortable.
Yeah.
So, with our rating... I am. I'm leaning back in my chair. So our rating system is you can be overwhelmed with something, with the movie, which means you're overly joyed, you're very satisfied. You can be underwhelmed, you were bummed, it didn't meet your expectations, or you can be simply whelmed.
Which is just, it was meh. It was mid.
Yes.
It was mid. Mid.
You can't do this to me. Breedable. Yeah, submissive. Well, gentlemen, this has been a successful blunt rotation. Actually, Norman, you're out.
Like, what? No.
Yeah, you can't do this to me.
Do this to me.
Do you know how much money I put into all this weed? Couldn't be much. Weed's mid.
Mid. No.
He's getting kicked out of the rotation.
Were you, what's your rating there, kid?
I was overwhelmed. I mean, I had really high expectations for it, and it surpassed them by far.
Yeah, I mean, I had a part of me at the back of the head that was like, Predator has not been a reliable series or franchise for me.
Sure.
Where, like, if you count the Alien vs. Predator movies, there's like 6 movies now: Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and then both AVPs, and then The Predator. Yeah, there's 6 movies before Prey, and 2 of them are good.
Right.
So I was not. On the one hand, I was like, "Man, this sounds good on paper. Like I like this," but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it exceeded my expectations. I was overwhelmed by it. The front part of me that was like, "This sounds good on paper," it also was good in reality. So I'm glad for that. And it made me want more like this. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Or obviously, I don't think you could use this character again because it doesn't make sense for her to just constantly be getting fuck, another Predator.
Something we'll talk about. I gotta remember something that I want to bring up.
I mean, we're in spoilers.
Fuck it. So at the, I believe it was maybe the middle, we see that pistol, that blunderbuss pistol.
Yeah.
Which is one of the trophies,
right,
that you can get. So I'm curious if
don't act like you just knew that. I had to tell you that.
No, you did say it. But no, but what I'm thinking is, what if they do it? Make What if they do another one?
By the way, you said doo-doo.
But if they, do make another film, trying to continue that, throw a little Easter egg and put the tomahawk with the rope as one of the trophies.
Well, so people are thinking because in the mid credits, there's drawings and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
and you see the Predator ships returning.
Mm-hmm.
Which because you were talking, I mentioned to you when we watched the movie that flintlock pistol is one of the trophies that Danny Glover gets offered at the end of Predator 2, and I'm wondering if maybe because she won, right? She beat their hunter, and they're an honor-based society, so they probably came down and she may have offered a trade with them because also I saw somebody point this out on, I think maybe Reddit, that the Native American tribes were pretty big on exchanging of gifts, basically. That when you meet a new tribe, you exchange gifts with them, and so it would make sense that hey, can we get our guy's body back? And she's like, yeah, here's this pistol too, as a gift, and maybe they gave them something, right? Because
what do you think
you get to pick a trophy. I don't know, but so that's how they get the pistol as a trophy, right?
Oh. Yeah, that could make sense.
Because otherwise, the alternative is they rolled up and fucking wiped out the tribe and took everything. But that doesn't make sense with how the Predators kind of operate.
I like the former. I like the former.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a nice little aside. I do like maybe they could do something, but I would just be cool with making the Predator series an anthology series from now on, and each movie is just a different period piece.
Yeah. I'd be completely okay with that.
Show me the Predator. Someone was like, show me the Predator in fucking World War One.
Oh my god.
That'd be dope.
That'd be dope as fuck.
You're on the Western Front, it's the fucking French and German trenches, and then there's just the Predator.
That'd be...
So, we were right, by the way. I want us to fucking take a little victory, John, here. The Predator did, in fact, have primitive tools in comparison to the previous films.
Yeah, yes, we were right, and
steady.
I mean, I'm just curious what my check is for helping part of this movie.
You want me to run down the list here with you?
Yeah, lay it on me, baby.
All right. So instead of the plasma caster on the shoulder, he had a handheld dart gun that was laser guided. So it still had the 3 dots like the plasma caster, but instead it's just to aim the darts, right? He still has his wrist blades. And his spear doubled as a club, where it could break into 2.
Yeah,
and it was a short spear and a club, which was pretty cool. Let's see, his cloaking was a little bit dodgy at times, where if it came into contact with objects, it would falter pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Animals noticed.
Yeah.
A lot of the animals noticed.
A lot of the animals saw him. Yeah, and it even seemed like at times, her and her, Naru and her tribes people could see him. If now that they knew he was there, they were able to spot him.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't perfect. It was more for hiding in your peripheral, and you would be easy to walk past him if you didn't know you were looking for something.
Right.
You know, like those pictures online of like, find the leopard in this picture, right? And you're like, damn, that thing's camouflaged well, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He has his razor nets still, which is pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
As well as
yeah,
like a bolo blade thing. You know what I'm talking about? Where instead of like wrapping around the ankles, it just chops the foot off.
Oh yeah.
As it coils up on him. That was pretty cool. He has a fucking handheld shield that's collapsible, similar to, it made me think of God of War.
Kratos, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like razor sharp on the edge, which was kind of cool. He uses it as like an edged weapon as well. Shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then his wrist bomb obviously isn't a nuclear device in this one, but it does have multiple small bombs that might kind of clear an area. But obviously, it's nothing like the original films where he's like, and then just destroys a jungle with it, Yeah. But yeah, so I thought there was some cool stuff there, as well as like even his helmet, and he is that like much less armored, it seemed.
Yeah, and you pointed out as well.
Hits.
Well, yeah, I was also going to say with the helmet, you pointed out that he only has thermal.
Yeah, he only has the heat vision, the thermal vision. He can't see UV or UV or X-ray. Sorry, he can't see X-ray or the UV spectrum. It's just thermal. And he doesn't have his night vision either, so that was kind of cool.
Which Naru uses to her advantage.
Yeah, in classic, there were a couple little callbacks to like the original movie, insofar as like her using the temperature thing to trick the thermal vision. As well as her brother gets the line, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't cheesy or anything. It was like good timing and it made sense in conversation.
Especially hunt, they're in the middle of this hunt.
Yeah, they're hunters.
They're finding blood, and they're like, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
No, it's when they're tied to the tree as the bait. And she's basically telling them, like, I don't know if we can kill this fucking thing after she's faced it.
Oh,
and he goes, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Like, this thing will go down.
Yeah.
But I thought that the way they ramped up the fights was really well done.
Oh,
like as far as the Predator was concerned, they slowly ramped him up into like a full-on like killing machine.
Yeah.
Where like at first we see him stalking that wolf and killing it, and then he kills a bear that is chasing Naru, and not easily. Like both the wolf and the bear.
They fucked him up.
Yeah, the bear bites, or the bear does bite him, but the bear's full on mauling him, but the wolf does bite his leg, I believe. And he kills them both. But then he obviously kills Naru's tribe members that were trying to capture her and take her back home. Yeah. And that was a pretty good fight, seeing them kind of take on, some semi-gifted hunters, decent fighters. Yeah. He kills them all. Chops one dude's leg off. It's all bad for them.
They don't stand a chance.
I really thought that poor guy taking a shit was done. Like, he was going to get got while he was shitting.
Yeah, you expect him to be the first one since he's separated.
Yeah. But then again, from like that honor standpoint, maybe the Predator was like, that's a low blow to kill a man while he's dropping a deuce, Back to a tree grunting, and he's just like, yeah.
Yeah, he's seeing him, fucking ass
out.
Just...
a tail, yeah.
He's like, I don't know what he's going through right now, but I'll leave him alone.
He's got his own battle,
He's fighting his own demons right now.
Man's all backed up. I'm gonna go fight these guys. His eyes are all red. I'm gonna let him that one. And then obviously he kills that group of French trappers that have captured Naru and Tabe. Where that's when you really see him just go out. Like he
and that is, so I'm not bobbing on this movie. That is the one thing I will say I didn't like is throughout the entire fight scene, which was amazing. There is one scene where one of the guys has like the blunderbuss pistol, shoots him in the mask, and it bounces back, shoots him in the head, then he dies. That's the only thing I was like, if I had to, I would pick that just because it's kind of cheesy, But that's the only thing. But that whole fight scene, he chops off that guy's head with the shield.
The shield, yeah, where he's just got him by the neck. And he just opens the shield around the dude's fucking neck and chops the tree that he's got him pinned against in half too.
Yeah.
Like, good God. And that's when like we see him use the razor net, as well as, and you get to see like just his strength,
which was such a good like fuck you move because
they used the net on him.
Yeah, they try to use the net on him, and then he's like, "I got nets. We play with nets, huh?" Tink, 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 tink.
But there was a like in all reality, there was a bit of equality where like when he fights the wolf and the bear, he just uses his fists and his wrist blades.
Yeah,
and like he kind of scales his combat to what he's fighting. Where like then when he fights
Beowulf,
then when he fights the tribesman, he kills them with like his spear and his blow dart. Because he's got because they've got bow and arrow and things like that. It's ranged weapons now. Okay. And then when it comes to the trappers, that's when he busts out the net and the shield. And, because they're firing fucking cannons and shit at him, And he's like, all right, we're going in. And, he even goes as far as using his wrist bomb,
Yeah.
To get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, because they do, again, like, they do fuck him up a little bit. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, this Predator was kind of ass, dude. Like, we're hamming him up. Like, he didn't make it.
No, I mean, in the end, he loses to another hunter.
Bit the dust.
Yeah, he does. He does bite the dust, but I mean, that's kind of the idea of the movies, though, right? It's like the Predator doesn't win.
Yeah.
It's about how can somebody fight this dude? Fight this dude that's just built to be a killing machine.
Mm-hmm.
But then the fucking two like successive showdowns between Tabe and Naru and the Predator, and then the final showdown between Naru and the Predator.
Mm-hmm.
That fight between Tabe and the Predator was
stupid. Was so fucking good.
Badass.
Welcome back
first
to Gas.
He's riding by
Gas.
First of all, him riding by, lighting him up with bow and arrow while she's just maneuvering around him, right? And then when he fucking leaps off that horse in wide angle and stabs him through the back with the spear.
Yeah, it's just...
Oh my god. And then he's just facing him down, hitting him with bow and arrow from like 3 feet away, rolling around him, snagging the arrows back out of him and lighting him up some more. It's so good. Like,
dude.
Is the idea of like the agility versus the brute strength, Where the Predator's big and strong, Tabe has to be quick and skilled, right?
Which we see because that's how the one tribe, the tribe member who doesn't die from
who was taking the douche,
as we see that they're running away from the Predator, and he's catching up quick. That Predator, he was there, he was on him.
Yeah. Oh, and something about the Predator that I meant to mention earlier. We see him with his mask off a few times.
He looks
and he looks a little different. And, some of that could be a regional thing, where, I mean, they're a whole society. Maybe he's a different quote unquote race, how like, you could have a Hispanic person, an Asian person, right? Maybe he's just a different race of Predator, right? And then also it is canonical, like, that they try and evolve themselves through like genetic enhancement and stuff to be better hunters. So maybe 300 years ago, that's what the Predators looked like, and then they changed themselves and evolved themselves to what we picture.
I mean, which I think both make sense. So
yeah,
I wasn't too upset about it or nothing.
No, I wasn't like, that's not. No, what? Not my Predator. Hashtag.
It
not
looks
my
different.
Predator.
Yeah, it looks different, so it must be evil.
Naru, she fucks up. Just things in general with her tomahawk on a rope.
Dude.
But like that bit when she's fighting a couple of trappers trying to get back to, get away from the Predator when she's running back to the camp. And it's like a nice long one shot of her fighting those, I think 2 or 3 trappers with their own blades and then her tomahawk on a stick or on a rope. Like, my God.
And she's fucking them up, throwing that thing, getting it back.
Yeah. And, using, while it's stuck in this guy, I'm going to yank it out and not catch it and let it catch the guy on the other side.
Yeah. Or what was it? Really... She threw it and it hit the guy, and then someone like came in between her and the guy that she just got, and like she yanked it back and it hit him in the back of the head. Yeah.
And then obviously using their own knives, she's like rolling around, stabbing the shit out of them and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh my God.
It was so good.
Yeah. I was just giggling because I read my note here about the Tabe fight. And I said, the fight between Tabe and the Predator is fucking fantastic. Seeing him ride around on horseback, lighting the Predator up before a wicked dismount stabbing with a spear, then rolling around the Predator and stealing his arrows back out of him to fire again. Solid shit, dude.
Solid shit, dude.
Like,
that is what we call in the biz an epic gamer moment.
Epic gamer moment, yeah. But no, Naru is just really smart too. Like, and that helps her a lot. Like, it saves her several times.
Yeah.
I think about like when she's sinking in the mud pit, the quicksand.
Yeah, and she throws
uses her tomahawk. Yeah,
as a rope to get out. Also, there are
which then comes back.
And that's the continuity with that is something I was going
to
touch upon.
Seeing it, knowing where she was, and that'd be a good spot to trap him.
Yeah, like, oh, if this got me, it's got to at least slow him down.
Right.
But the what I was going to touch on was the orange flower that Naru picks that she learned from her mother. That doesn't, it slows down. Yeah, it cools you down. It cools down the blood and it slows
your heart rate,
blood flow. Yeah, just to keep slow blood loss and stuff like that. And she brings that up a couple times in the movie, but then also is smart enough to take the flower right before the fight. So this thing's got thermal, can't see her.
Yeah, and she learns that. I mean, she doesn't just go, "Oh, he can see heat." She gives the guy the flower.
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that.
No, you're okay. Yeah, she gives one of the trappers that was nice to her, the one that was translating to her, the flower to help him because he lost his foot to the Predator. So she gives him that flower to kind of cool him down, slow the blood loss, and as payment for him showing her how to use the flintlock pistol. And then, the Predator walks over and doesn't acknowledge him, thinks he's dead, because the guy's like, oh, and just plays dead. But the fucking Predator, like, steps on his stump. And the guy is involuntarily
screaming.
Yeah, and the Predator's like, oh, and shanks the hell out of him.
Prison
shanks. Like, damn, that guy, stick. Just a toothbrush in the fucking ear. But, like, he almost made it, too.
Yeah.
But she does. She sees that and is like, oh, damn, like, he thought he was dead because of the, the flowers. Yeah.
Most people would be like, oh, fuck, she's over here writing notes.
Yeah, she's studying, yeah. So she does. She traps him with that fuckhead of a trapper, one of the Frenchmen who was, like, fully a dick.
And taking the bait.
Yeah, she used him as bait to lure in the old Predator while she's she's popping petals,
It's popping petals.
Popping petals, And, so she's... Part call me Juice World, So she pops the... Nope, you won't use that.
Oh, no, I think it's too soon.
It's been like a year.
Moving on.
Anyways, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so she does. She pops the petals, and then, fucking Predator rolls up, kills the Frenchman, and she just shoots the Predator in the back of the head with the flintlock pistol. But luckily for him, she's a little inaccurate with her, which makes sense. She's never used a firearm before, and it's a flintlock pistol. And so it kind of crowns him, nicks the top of his head, but it does take his helmet off. And he rolls out quick. He's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, Just got shot. And so she does. She's like, thanks, and takes his helmet. And that's when she sets up the old...
the booby trap.
Killing field, yeah. Which was badass. First of all, she chops his arm off with his own shield.
Yeah.
Like, she makes him chop his own arm off.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget what it was, but he had his knife, went to stab her, she ducked, got out of the way, it got stuck in the tree, and then she pushed his arm and then activated it?
Something to that effect, yeah. Or when he went to use his shield on her, she moved around him quick enough that he cut his own arm off, and he kind of looks at his arm and looks at her with that, what? No fucking way, dude.
You're fucking, you're fucking with me.
You're joshing me. This did not.
Where are the cameras? Am I getting punked?
Well, and then I thought about that after the fact. His people are watching him. They're observing, and I wonder if they're all like, "Jesus Christ, what an idiot!
A fool!"
They've all got bets, and the ones that were betting on are like, "Ah!" Damn it!
They're crumpling their credits.
Yeah. and the ones that obviously bet against him are like high-fiving and chest bumping. I'm like, yeah!
They're like, dude, we're so fucking rich.
Dude, we're in. He is fucked. But, yeah, she does. She fucks him up, like, a hard.
Yeah, hard.
And finishes off by, running over to the old, Oh, by the way, I thought her dog was gonna die. Like,
oh, so did I.
I was like, please don't. Like, I can't.
Please. The dog's too good. Oh, well, you know who did die that we didn't mention?
Oh,
Tabby.
yeah, her brother. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of sacrifices himself, kind of not.
Yeah, I don't know if it was really by choice, so much as he is like, well, if the Predator hadn't bitched out and gone invisible, he had him. Like, he was taking the Predator down.
Yeah.
But
that would have been something. What a fucking kill steal.
Yeah, like, oh, you stole my kill, yeah. Fucking kill counts as assist, or assist counts as kill. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Predator goes invisible and dips out and then just sneaks up on him, and that's when Tabe, like, hears the twig crack behind him and is like, you better get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's me he sees as the target.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta get out of here. And
but all
she
along,
doesn't.
No, she sticks.
She sticks around, the Predator kills the shit out of Tabe, and then starts walking towards her, and then Tabe grabs the skull, the dog skull, and stabs it in his leg.
Yeah.
And that's when the Predator like, turns around.
Gives Naru enough time to skedaddle.
Yeah. But yeah, the final blow there, she sneaks across the mud puddle, and is sitting there on that stump that she used to save herself.
Mm-hmm.
And Predator wades into the mud, comes up, and is going to fire his darts at her, but he's got to free aim it because he's missing his helmet. And we've seen that he sucks ass with aiming that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so she fucking moves out of the way because she's hid the helmet behind her and just lets him light himself. Or no. That's what it is. She set the thing up next to him, didn't she? So it catches him in the side of the head.
Yeah. Yeah, she set up on a rock, so when he shoots the arrow, it's laser.
Yeah, laser guided. And
yeah, so
it zips around, and he looks over just in time to have like the fuck.
No fucking way. Son of a, and then gets got.
Yeah, he turns, makes eye contact with his own helmet, and son of a bitch, and the shunk right in the forehead. And she just rolls up at home with a fucking Predator head, and everybody's like, what the that?
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck?
And she's painted herself with his neon green blood. That was kind of
yeah.
Seeing the neon blood on her, that was pretty dope.
And then then it kind of fades to. Well, no, she gets the hunting chief stick.
Yeah, they're like, you're fucking.
Yeah, you're taking the lead from here on out.
Tabe's dead, and you killed whatever the fuck that is, so you're in.
No. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like part of the brutalization. At one point, she fucking he's got her pinned down with his shield between some rocks, where he was like going for the decapitation.
Oh yeah, and she's using rocks to block it.
Using the rocks to block it, and he's to his credit, he is forcing it down through the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And she fucking yanks off one of his like tusk things and just stabs him in the eye with it.
Yeah.
And this is after he's lost the arm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, my god.
Even if he were to win, did he really?
Did he? Yeah, like, are they going to just put him down like a lame horse when he gets back? They're going to
turn him to glue.
Yeah, send him to the glue factory. But, no, gas. It was gas. You got to ask me.
Yeah, movie. Yeah, welcome back to Gas or Pass. Pray. Gas.
Yeah, it was gas.
Yeah, really, really good movie. Really good movie.
It
does make me want more.
Yeah, and I want to see Amber Midthunder do some more, because apparently she did most of her own fight choreography.
Really?
Yeah, so I want to see her do more, because she was a very gifted action actress, I suppose.
Like I was saying, the choreography was really well done.
Yeah. But you got anything more?
No, I mean, we really touched base on everything I wanted to talk about. It's just such a good movie. I mean, I could go on forever about it.
Yeah, check it out. It's on Hulu. If you've got Hulu, watch that shit. Use the fucking free trial to watch it.
Yeah, and watch it in the
In the Comanche
native
version.
language. Yeah, the Comanche version was a lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And that was another thing I wanted to touch on real quick, actually, talking about the authenticity of that and the simplicity of the story. I think it speaks volumes that a movie without, when we watched it with subtitles, I didn't necessarily have to read all the to keep up what's going on.
No.
It was pretty easily understandable just through the, the visuals. But yeah, what you been thinking about that?
I think what you meant to say is welcome back to Chris's Cryptid Corner. I'm your host, Chris. This week, I'm actually taking a little bit of a turn from like aliens and stuff like that, and I have a cryptid here called a Russian siren.
A Russian siren.
Yes. Let's see here. My computer's being a little slow. So a siren, that is a mythological creature of Russian legends, where the head and chest of a beautiful woman and a body of a bird, usually an owl.
Okay.
According to the myth, the sirens lived in a lot of Indian lands near and around the Euphrates River.
Yep, Euphrates. Yep.
These half-women, half-birds are directly based on the Greek. I almost said geek. The Greek myths and later folklore about sirens. They were usually portrayed wearing a crown with or a nimbus.
And they'd lure the sailors to their death.
Yeah, siren, and it says here, sirens sang beautiful songs to the saints, foretelling future joys. For mortals, however, the birds were dangerous. Men who heard them would often forget everything on Earth, follow them, and ultimately die.
Yeah.
People would attempt to save themselves from the sirens by shooting cannons, ringing bells, and making other loud noises to scare the bird off. Later, 17th-18th century, the image of sirens changed and they started to symbolize world harmony as they lived near paradise.
Right.
People in those times believed only really happy people could hear a siren, while only very few could see one, because she is as fast and as difficult to catch as human happiness. Whoa.
Yeah.
She symbolizes yes, felt that. She symbolizes eternal joy and heavenly happiness.
I gotta work on my cardio.
The legend, damn it, the legend of Siren might have been introduced to, I'm gonna say Kevin, but it's spelled Kievan.
Oh, do you know Kiev?
No.
Kiev, like the Ukrainian capital?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's what that is. Kiev.
Kievan Rus by Persian merchants in the 8th and 9th century. Sometimes sirens are seen as metaphor for God's word going into the soul of a mouth to the... Whoa. I'm just stuttering so much today. Sometimes sirens are seen as metaphor for God's word going into the soul of a man. Sometimes they're seen as a metaphor of tempting the weak. Yeah,
that's what I've always seen it as, is temptation.
Yeah. But here, I just think it's something, it's... Obviously, we know the sirens, but in just different parts of the world, maybe, they mean different things and stuff like that. And in this case, it's the face and chest of a woman and the body of an owl.
Yeah.
Tempting.
How do you not jump on that?
Like, I don't know, two, birds and breasts. Like, you got me.
Are you familiar with Homer's Odyssey?
I am not.
The Odyssey?
I've seen the Odyssey, yes. Oh, Odysseus, yes. Yeah, and he puts wax in his ears and ties them to the mast.
Right, yeah, because those are sirens in that. Well, Have you seen Oh Brother, Where...
Have I seen what?
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
No.
You gotta watch it. It's a very good movie. It's from the Coen brothers. It's got the whole, what's his name? He was in George Clooney. It's George Clooney.
Yep.
And, it's very good, but it's basically like, what if in the 1920s, America, South and the West and the East, and there's just these three good old boys trying to get back home, and it's the Odyssey, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was just thinking of that. There's the sirens are in that as well. as well as John Goodman plays the Cyclops. So
yes,
and it's very
he's
good.
He's a good actor.
He is a very gifted actor. Oh man, 3 Degrees of Separation. I didn't even mention it. Top Prey. It was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, which has John Goodman in it.
Oh, what a small world.
My God, I'm so fucking smart, dude. Like,
your brain
is just swole. Yeah, like it's filled to the brim with knowledge right now. Knowledge.
But other than that, I actually have, and I wanted to talk to you about it because I haven't talked to you or anything in a couple days because I was out on the town. I was off the grid. No, I went to I went to an amusement park and stayed at one of those water park resort things just for the weekend, just because little getaway, right? Why not?
You and the gals.
And just me and the gals, there's a couple of work buddies, and we all went, and it was, I mean, by far one of the best and worst experiences of my life. And so, we get to the amusement park, right? Because we wake up real early, we drive up there and having fun, But it was so fucking humid.
Yeah.
It was so humid. I mean, we went on just a handful of rides, and I felt bad, and I was just like, one of my friends was like, yeah, whenever you're ready to go. And
I mean, you're also by a large body of water while it's already humid.
Yeah. And so I was just like, yeah, like, everyone was on the same page of like, yeah, let's get out of here. And so we went back and got in the jacuzzi, right? And we went on a couple slides. Then we were just kind of like, let's just kick it for the night. Like, and we got all day tomorrow. So today, today I got home today.
Yeah.
And we're going and we're checking out everything. And this place is fucking huge, right? They got mini golf, they got zip lining, surfing classes, just you name it, they got it, right? I think they had a pop-up food truck. They had it.
My God.
Yeah, they had it. They had those little Dippin' Dots machines in the inside of because it's indoor and outdoor water park,
right?
And so this place is just fucking loaded. And while we're there, one of the things that I saw was the surfing lessons, and I was like, oh, dude, I kind of want to do that. Right? That looks just like so much fun. And it's one of those where you got the surfboard and it's the water rushing up the hill, and you got to kind of like navigate yourself onto it. And I'm like, let's fucking do it, right? And I'm a bigger guy, and I know that, right? But I'm not gonna let that stop me, right? I want to go.
Yeah.
And so,
right.
I'm a man. I'm a man. But so, I get up there, and there's an instructor on top who kind of helps you. It tells you how to jump in the water correctly. And then you got the guy on the bottom who kind of helps you steer, get the hang of like what to do, so you can kind of look at him while he's instructing. So this lady takes one like good long glare at me, and she goes, "You ever done this before?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." Like, take a good long no, no, I haven't.
Look at me. No.
So she's like, yeah. So she's like, "All right, well, keep your arms tucked in, hold it here. You want the board to be at your stomach, and when you hop in, kind of going at a diagonal way, and then you kind of straighten back out." I was like, all right, cool. And I did it. And that's the part that really scared me the most, is like jumping in and making sure I don't flip over and eat shit like right away.
Wipe out right now.
But I got on and I actually landed pretty good. And I wasn't awful. I will say I wasn't bad. I was able to kind of turn easy. I was even able to do the one where you flip over in the water and you land back out and you straighten out, right? You do like a somersault. I did that and I nailed it. And I really, really did like it. It was a whole lot of fun. But he, was like, the guy was like, all right, well, go ahead, try to get up on your knees on the board.
Yeah.
So you're just laying on your stomach. And I tried to do it, and I fucked up, and I pulled up on the board, and when I pulled up, the water went under and shot me. But when it shot me, it shot my shorts.
No.
And I was able to grab it just enough to the point where, like, it didn't show my dick or nuts. Right. But my ass was out. And, like, I'm flipping in the water. Dude. And snot is running down my face because I'm freaking out. And I get up and out of and like, thankfully, no, I don't think anybody saw my ass. But if they did, and you're listening to this podcast, I'm sorry.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, yeah, I remember like I got up because the way I got up is I kind of like landed on my knees, and so I just leaned back and like slowly pulled up my pants. So you probably saw like my thighs, but no one saw
Right.
crack or nothing. And I got up and I look over at the instructor, and he's just signaling with his hands to wipe my nose. And I'm like, oh fuck! And I'm wiping over, and there's just so much snot, and I'm just like,
God.
this is like the worst because I was so confident with everything. So it's like I'm actually pretty good at this. To quickly spin out and go, oh, but you're not. Yeah, I looked like a fool.
Yeah, to wipe out. I mean, the fact that the instructor had to go, my God, wipe this.
Yeah, like, dude, wipe your fucking nose. But I mean, at the end of the day, I did have a lot of fun doing that, and I didn't really care that my ass was out. I mean, because I was like, dude, I mean, tell me I did a bad job. Tell me I fucking flopped.
Right.
Like, I fucking did the barrel roll. Can you do that shit? No. Get out of my face. Fuck out
chill
of
out. Hey, chill out.
Getting all worked up.
You gotta breathe, baby. Like, what's your mouth?
But then the other thing that, happened that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll move on, just so I'm not dwelling on it.
Right.
Well, okay, three things. No, I swear we're done. We there's three of us, and we all went on. Water park rides are typically like a 2-person ride.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm the bigger guy, so I was like, I'll go by myself, kind of equal the weight.
Right.
And but we found this one ride that could hold up to 4 people. And I was like, that's game. That's us. Like, 3 people, and we can get one ride in where we can all go on it together.
Right.
And we waited in this line for fucking ever, dude. And it was just the big toilet bowl, the funnel.
Yeah.
Right, and you all get on the raft. But so we're waiting there, and we're and it's just taking forever. But we finally get on it, and we're going. And this thing drops you hard and quick. I mean, it was kind of different because it had something else in it besides the toilet bowl. But so we're all flopping around on this raft, and my foot goes up. And Bethany, she's one of the coworkers that went with in the group. And so I leaned back, and my feet raised up, and she leaned forward, and her face leaned in, and I just kicked the shit out of her face.
Oh my God.
And I mean, to the point where as soon as we land, I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, it wasn't your fault or nothing. But, I mean, like a soccer ball, dude, my foot just...
Caught her with the laces, just...
And I felt like a fucking schmuck. I felt so bad.
Looked like one, too.
Yeah, with my ass out and snot on my face.
Jesus.
Oh my God. And then, finally... Well, and these were my 3 favorite rides. And this last one...
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, if you don't want to hear, we can just move on.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. We've just spent almost as much time on this water park. Fucking pray. I'm totally fucking with you guys. Yeah.
Wow. I can tell. So this last ride, it was no no tube, no like floor mat that you you have on the slides. Yeah. It's just you. And
they had a water.
Right, and they had a weight limit, right? And I was slightly above the weight limit, right? By I think 20 pounds.
Just, about 100 pounds.
Yeah, it said 250. I'm like 260, 270, right around there.
I'm pushing 4,
I'm pushing 4. I'm slightly above it. Pushing P. And this guy, the guy before me, he goes down the slide, and they have to shut the ride down because it's the same thing. It's the toilet bowl, but except the funnel that goes down, it just drops you 5 feet, and then you're just in a 12-foot pool. Yeah. So, it says in big letters, you have to be a strong swimmer. You have to know how to swim, really well in order for you to go on this ride. So he asks the guy, he's like, can you swim? He's like, yeah, I can swim. He goes, all right, cool, go on. He goes down, and we're waiting a little bit, and I notice, I'm like, oh my God, the water in the slide's gone. I asked the guys, did you guys shut down? He goes, no, the guy said he could swim, and he started struggling to get out, so we have to shut everything down until he's out. I was like, damn, son, yeah, fuck. So, I'm waiting there for a little bit. They get the slide up and running, I go. I mean, it's, shooting me around, zipping me, zapping me, and I'm, ha-haing like a little girl, and it shoots me into this funnel. And I mean, I caught speed, and have you ever seen the movie Norbit?
Yes.
Where Rasputin's going down. I felt a little bit like that. Because I mean, I went around this funnel like 4 or 5 times before I felt like started to gradually decline. And like for a split second, I was getting close to the top, and I could see the sprinklers keeping it wet, up there. And I was like, I think I'm gonna fall out.
Like I'm going down.
And then I finally start to decline and everything. I was like, I'm so good.
I'm in. Like I'm solid, baby.
And I just fell through, and I got out of that, and I was like, I probably put weight limits on that for a reason. But I think I think I'm gonna start taking weight loss a little more serious because I started to, and then I just got super loose and relaxed about it. But I think I'm gonna after that I'm gonna straighten up on it. But what about you? What have you been thinking about, huh, pal?
I got a few here. First thing, actually, we're going to pivot back. There's some news that came through on Twitter while we were talking. Mm-hmm. Do we do the sad news first or the light news? Let's do the light news. That way it's not you at a water park to...
Right, yeah.
So, Sonic 3 is coming to theaters on December 20th, 2024. So we got Joker and we got Sonic.
Fuck yes. Apparently Sonic's so good. Like, I have to go see
it. It's good stuff, yeah. Obviously, we talked about... Sorry, these are all... Ezra Miller's been charged with burglary in Vermont.
Vermont? I thought he was in Hawaii. Why is he in Vermont? Yeah,
they are just trekking across the country committing crime. It's like Bonnie and Clyde.
Except it's just Bonnie.
Except it's the Flash and an 18-year-old that they've fucking groomed. And then, pivoting from that, obviously, to... this is 2 weeks in a row. I don't want this... Olivia Newton-John passed away today.
I know, I saw that, and I was heartbroken.
Obviously, I think I know her most famously from Grease.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I saw here on Twitter was John Travolta posted... she was 73, but he posted a nice little statement for her. He said, "My dearest Olivia, you made all of our lives so much better. Your impact was incredible. I love you so much. We'll see you down the road, and we'll all be together again. Yours from the first moment I saw you and forever. You're Danny, you're John."
Damn.
But she was 73. I don't know if there was a cause of death. It might have just been, unfortunately. It sounds like maybe it was cancer.
Oof. That's always tough.
I'm looking here to make sure. So it doesn't look like it specifically says, so I don't want to. But yeah, she did. She passed away at 73. It sounds like, she was with her family and that's everything. Good. It was as nice as those things can be.
Right.
I used to watch Grease a lot as a kid, actually, because my sister, who's like 5 years older than me, found it like right at her age. She's like about 5.5 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
She discovered it like at like 10, so I was right in the sweet spot to be at the whim of everybody else, but to remember everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've got I know a lot of songs, and Olivia Newton-John was also wonderful in that movie. She's a good singer, very gifted singer, and that's a movie that's the kind of work that I think an artist obviously would like to have. Where Grease is a almost 50-year-old movie, and I think it'll be around far longer than anybody involved with the movie. It'll outlive them, which I think is a nice way for them to be remembered, is the things they create. A lot of artists live by that thing of, leaving the place leaving the place nicer than you found it, right?
Right.
And so if they put some art out that makes people happy and is beautiful and remembered that way, then it's a good way to leave your mark.
Absolutely. Yeah, rest in peace. That was. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that on Twitter in the news, and I remember I did kind of sit back and I was like, oh damn.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're losing a lot of people, and that's just really sad.
That's why I said this is 2 weeks in a row, and I don't want it to be a trend.
I'd rather it not be.
No. But and I've said it every time we brought up a death. There's really no good way to pivot out of it, so I'm just going to move on to the next thing here.
Yeah. Next.
No. Yeah, you asked me what I was thinking about.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
So I started reading this book called The Long Way Home. I think I told you about it in like our private lives. So from reading or listening to my Hardcore History podcast, I was kind of, suggested
not a
some
sponsor.
Things. Not a sponsor. My phone goes, oh, you like that shit? How about this? Right. And so it recommended me a book that is actually a true story, and it's called The Long Way Home. And I'm going to read the synopsis here to you because it was like, I read it and I was like, damn, that shit, that does sound
good fucking book.
Yeah. And so far, it is a very good book. I'm not very far into it because I just started reading it the other day. And I haven't been like sitting down and powering through it. But the synopsis here says, following the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, a giant 4-engine Pan American Airways Boeing flying boat, registered as NC-18602, under the command of Captain Robert Ford, embarked on a remarkable journey. Caught en route over the South Pacific at the time of the Japanese attack, Captain Ford and his crew were forced into a flight plan that none of them had anticipated when they left San Francisco on December 1st, for what was to have been a routine round-trip commercial flight to New Zealand. Faced with the threat of interception by Japanese forces, they were ordered to take their strategically valuable aircraft on a globe-girdling 31,500-mile, 6-week odyssey, heading westward, mostly across territory that had never been flown over before by a large commercial aircraft. With no suitable navigation charts, no certainty of obtaining fuel or servicing, and under a total veil of secrecy and radio blackout for security purposes, they threaded their way across the war zones of the Far East, the Middle East, Africa, the South Atlantic, Brazil, and the Caribbean to bring their aircraft home safely to New York. This is the story of that historical flight.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, and what's nice is it's written by a guy who got to actually talk with the captain of the flight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he got to do like a 3-hour interview with him, and he recorded interaction with him. And then he got to talk to a couple of the flight crew as well who were still alive at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard because it's a relatively recent book insofar as I think it's from like the late 90s to early 2000s. So to still have a World War II vet who was alive to to talk about that, or not a World War II vet, but somebody from World War II era, so far it's a really good read, and it's nice to have like that true firsthand account of something like that. And it is that kind of story where you're like, that sounds like a movie or like a fictional story. Yeah. It's so exciting and cinematic, but for it to be a real thing that happened. It's another one where I'm like, I wonder why that's not. I looked it up, and nobody's ever made a movie or anything.
We got to get a patent.
That's what I'm saying. But no, it's a really good book. And then on that same subject, sort of, I finished my episodes of Hardcore History about the Pacific War. And so now I'm listening to. I went on and I went and supported him because, like we talked about, I think when I brought it up a couple weeks ago, Hardcore History doesn't do any like ads or anything like that. So he's always talking about that they're listener supported. And I thought, you know what, I've listened to quite a bit. I'll probably go to his site and see how I can support him.
Sure.
And he actually sells his older episodes, so he only keeps like a certain number of series out at once for free, and then kind of like vaults them, I guess. And so I picked up a few that I thought sounded interesting. So I'm starting with The Blueprint for Armageddon, which is about World War I. And full disclosure, I've listened to that one before, and it's so good. It's like a 6-part series, and it's like 24 hours of audio.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and then I think I picked up one about the fall of the Roman Empire, and then one about the Mongol Empire, like Genghis Khan's rise and fall. Yeah, and so I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna have like just weeks of content. Yeah, I'm set.
Solid. I know. I started a podcast called the Simply Whelmed podcast. I've been listening to that. It's pretty good. It's heat.
Yeah,
so
it's mid.
Yeah, check that.
It's simply whelming.
Yeah, it's simply whelming. So.
And then the last thing here, I played a game, or I've been playing a game. I haven't finished it yet. From the creators of This War of Mine and Frostpunk, which I know that we've talked about Frostpunk on before.
Yeah.
Called South of the Circle. And it's a little bit of a different game for them, because every game that I've played for them has been a specific kind of feeling or vibe of like being a strategic game that also has some like personal stakes to it, as far as like I'm worried about this individual, or like when we played Frostpunk, it was about I'm worried about
community,
the morality of my law that I'm putting in place, and trying to balance survival with like being good people, right?
Right.
Whereas this is a much more like there's a little bit of a choice based, but it's a very narrative heavy game where it's about a person who's, I believe he went to Oxford, and he crashes in Antarctica, like a plane crash in Antarctica, and you don't really know why he was there. but that's kind of how the story's unveiled to you. Is he was in a plane crash and he's trying to get to help basically, and as he's traveling across Antarctica, he has like flashbacks to different like vignette moments in his life where you actually get to make choices for him as far as like, okay, what did he do in this situation? And it's a pretty simple game, but it was also only like $11, I think.
Sure.
There's not a lot of gameplay per se to it. It's a lot of like almost visual novel of just picking. You don't even pick the dialogue. You just pick like the tone of the dialogue. So it'll ask you like, do you want to be, shy and withdrawn, or do you want to come off as confident or angry or whatever, happy, flirty, whatever it might be. Blasphemy! But no, I mean, so far it's been pretty fun. Like I said, it's a little bit different from some of the other games that they've made. So I was like, well, I've loved this War of Mine and Frostpunk both. And so to see something that style of game is up my alley, of like the visual novel. But I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up and give it a poke. And so far I've enjoyed it. I need to finish it up. It feels like I'm close to the end. And from what I've been reading, because of the choice-based options, there are multiple endings. So if it is as quick as it seems like it is, I might run through it a few times. See?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so we played Frostpunk, but I'd like to play this War of Mine.
I mean, I've got it. If you want to, we can do it for old time's sake. Split a case of beer and stay up until 4 a.m. playing that.
Waking up your old roommate. Fucking shrieking.
We go to he has a house now. We just go to his house and wake him up by playing the game.
Yeah.
He and his girlfriend.
Yeah, we bust in there.
We're gonna get drunk and play video games, so hope we don't bother you. It's like, oh, okay. Hey, if you're listening, you know who you are. We're gonna invite ourselves. Like,
yeah, we're still thinking about you.
Just to wake you up.
We got like a party pack.
We've just got too much Chex Mix and a lot of booze.
For one night, too much. We got like multiple bottles.
for 6 hours of gameplay. Like,
we're just by the end of it, we're just throwing up on your setup.
Turnt.
And we're crunk.
Too crunk. So, we want to thank you guys so much for your attention and support. If you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a great review. Tell your friends about it. Share us on social media. I said it every time. I'll say it again. Word of mouth is a great endorsement. Again, I'm like checking for receipts. I want to see some fucking shares, people. Like, if we're gonna spread the good word, we gotta start.
Yeah, we gotta start.
The movement starts with you.
Have you heard the good news?
Have you heard the word? Do you have a moment to talk about our hosts?
Our Lord and Savior, our hosts.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a church, not a cult.
Yeah, it's not a cult, it's a church.
If we really lay into that church thing, I think we talked about it before, we might get some tax breaks. So, Chris, if people wanted to get in touch with us, give us some feedback, ask us questions, send us in some pamphlets, how would they do that?
Of course. You can always reach out to us. Well, we have our YouTube now, which is Simply Whelmed Podcast, which is also our Facebook and our Instagram. Our Twitter handle is whelmed _ stop it. Is whelmed _ simply. And then, of course, our email is always simplywhelmedmailbag@gmail.com.
That's right. Next week, we'll probably be doing a topic since we don't have any major release shows or movies or anything like that come out, to the best of my knowledge, at least. Apparently, that Brad Pitt movie, Bullet Train, isn't very good, which is a pretty major bummer.
Oh, I was really excited for it, too.
I was, too.
Well, maybe we go see it and talk about it.
Maybe we still check it out. But I also had someone suggest that we look at some older films that have massive pop culture influence. And I say older films. I mean, I think the example they use is Dark Knight.
Sure.
And review them like we do our new releases. I don't think
that's not a bad idea. We can go over some. We can go over some of my favorite movies. They may not be the same. Like you may have a movie that you really like that I don't like.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about pornography.
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Well, then you won't have a lot of favorites. Because, for those that don't know, Chris is a chronic man.
I do like to go fishing.
This man's got tennis elbow on the rig.
Tennis elbow.
Jesus, just the repetitive motion is destroying the joint.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
what
Forget
are you gonna
about
do
it.
about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The tendons in that arm are like the sweatpants on an old man. Just worn out. They don't hold up anymore.
Blown out.
Blown out.
They're just blown out.
You look like a Charger from Left 4 Dead 2. You just got a gimpy little arm and just a monster of an arm.
This morning, I was putting on my swimming trunks again, because going back into the pool.
Yeah.
And
you're underwater.
I mean, it was so cold putting them back on because they're not all the way dry.
Right. Yeah, it's a major shrinkage.
I mean, I just said, like, my dick and nuts felt like beef jerky and raisins, just all shriveled, and I was not having a good time.
You just looked like a baby boy, just just a newborn infant getting a diaper change.
I will say, I had a pretty strong, going as we're leaving, we're getting changed and everything, and we go in the locker room, and there are kids walking around, so we're like, we can't. There's no lockers, or there's no rooms or curtains, anything. You do just have to shut down right there.
Yeah.
And so we wrap our towels around our waists, and then we're dropping them, underneath the towel, put on the underwear, and then by that point you can ditch the towel, put on your pants, and leave.
Right.
I mean, there's and I felt wrong doing it.
Oh yeah.
Because this kid's walking by, and I just stop what I'm doing. But you gotta have them. There was just one older guy in the shower. Oh, just hanging brain.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got he's got the soap around his neck with the
on a rope.
Fucking washing himself, man. And
What's the line from Austin Powers? Looked like 2 eggs in a hanky,
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was just, and it's one of those where I was like, oh, and I kept my eyes straight. I better.
No one is more confident than an old man in a locker room. I mean, he'll put a foot up and dry the balls,
He don't care.
He's slapping them around, just bouncing them on the towel, patting them dry.
Putting baby powder on him.
He looks like he's sifting fucking river water, trying to find gold. Just tossing around what's in here,
Anything left?
Starts grooming them like a chimpanzee does, He's pushing them around, picking stuff off them. Oh, thank you everyone so much for listening. We will see you next Wednesday. That's the end of the show, Chris. Tell everybody bye.
Bye.
Just a monster bag. It's like a deflated balloon.
An older guy, dude. And he just, when I looked over, he just had both of his arms up on the wall. He just had his head pointed down in the shower on him, and you just see his big fat fucking nuts hanging.
Like an old dog.
Yeah. Like an old dog.